to the Love to Live Healthy show. I'm Josephine Fitzpatrick, author of Cheat Day Rules, available on Amazon. I am a weight loss nutrition specialist for over 15 years, and I work with thousands of clients all over the world. I own Innovation Healthy Market at 802 Jericho Turnpike, Woodbury, New York, where for the last 12 years we sell hundreds of prepared meals and snacks. We are open to the public 7 days a week. You do not have to be a client to shop in our store. We have customers from all over Long Island visit our store every day, and we ship tri-state. We also offer free Long Island delivery every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we hand deliver to New York City every Tuesday. We are on Uber Eats 7 days a week. If you are looking to lose weight or just eat healthy, come visit our store. Everything is made fresh daily, and we carry everything from high protein, low carb, gluten-free, sugar-free, plant-based, vegan, keto, and our famous detox. So if you are looking to lose weight or detox, we offer free menus on the counter, and someone is always available to help you at the store. Or you can just come in and eat healthy. They will hold your hand to help you get what you need, so don't hesitate to ask them when you walk in. We also offer our Love to Live Healthy podcast, where we post weekly podcasts about everything you need to know to stay healthy and lose weight. For more information on our store, deliveries, shopping, and weight loss, visit our website, innovationhealthymarket.com, or check out our Instagram at Innovation Weight Loss. Today I am here with Jake Fitzpatrick. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning.
Today's episode is short-term goals that help you reach your long-term goals. In this week's healthy tip, I use the example of weight. Instead of saying I want to lose 20 pounds, which seems like a lot of weight and may take forever, instead I said look at your number on the scale and say you start at 163. Your short-term goal should be to get to 159, and then you go from 159, and your next short-term goal would be to get to 149, because it's motivating and it's getting you to your long-term goal of losing those 20 pounds. What do you think about that?
I think that that's a great way to make such a difficult situation sound achievable. Because when you think about it, and you obviously work with everybody hand in hand all the time through text, through email, everything. So the more and more that people put the work in and put the steps in that are needed to make this actually happen, you know, all of those trips to the grocery store, whenever people go out for dinner, when they eat their meals and they send you their daily diaries with all the everything that they ate throughout the day, they don't realize it in the moment, but those little steps are what are moving toward that number going down.
That's right, yes.
And also you see it more than anybody too, because I always just see you typing on the phone or typing on the computer. But when you talk to all these people, it always seems that no matter if somebody's a beginner or if they've been doing the program for 10 years, they always know when a little mistake has such a huge cost on them. Because they might say to you like, oh, like I made a mistake. I cheated a little bit, like, or I put some sugar or like, you know, some more cheese than I should have on this meal. And they'll tell you like, will that affect me? And they'll know in the moment, like, you know, that number I wanted so desperately to get to, maybe I'm further away now.
Right. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And it does. I do believe, I think it's really good when people go into weight loss and they think like everything matters. You know, it's okay if you are not 100%, but you do have to understand that everything you put in your mouth is going to matter when it comes to the scale. Because even if it's healthy, too much healthy is still too much. And that's where I think people fail, you know, they fall so short because they think like, but all I did was eat, you know, vegetables, or you did eat more than that. And when you did eat the vegetables, it was probably like 6 servings, you know, and that happens a lot. I love those words, and I say when someone will explain to me, they'll be like, and I had a really big salad, and I'm like, you're trying to lose weight, so you shouldn't have really big anything, you know? So keep everything smaller. Portions are everything when we're talking about weight loss.
No, absolutely. Portions are everything when you're talking about weight loss. And it's a common misconception, too, when people think that they're actually doing the right thing, but then they realize afterwards, and this is all part of it, too, like the learning. We always say, you know, like the more questions you ask, the more you learn about the program, the more you learn about yourself, because everybody's different on program. So, you know, they could be telling you, oh, I had a really big salad for lunch today. That was good, right? No, like, but then for the next time, they realize, oh, I'll have half of the portion I did, and maybe I won't have 3 dressings. Maybe I'll have just one.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right.
and maybe with the vegetables, you know, you have the 2 cups of steamed or raw vegetables. Maybe I won't saute it in like a sauce. You know?
Right, or an oil. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is so true, because even when we're talking about salads, it's a lot of times we make deals with ourselves or we fool ourselves. So a big thing is, oh, I had the dressing on the side. But if you used it, it doesn't matter if it's on the side.
Exactly.
You know, you used the whole cup anyway. So you could have just poured it on a salad. It would have been the same thing. But you're mentally telling yourself it's okay because I put it on the side. I used it on the side.
Exactly.
You know, but I did, when you just mentioned before, which I thought was a really good point, we sometimes lead ourselves to believe that we are, you know, doing the right thing. And you are. Like, if you're eating a big salad, that's great. And I tell clients all the time, you're really healthy. That's good. You're eating really healthy things, but it doesn't mean it's going to help you lose weight.
Exactly.
You know? And that's where I think we have such an obese society, because everybody thinks it's just, well, it's healthy, so it's fine. No, it always has to be portioned. You always have to remember you have to have less than what your body needs.
Exactly.
Always.
Exactly.
And that's the only way you're going to get the weight loss.
And that's the problem too, is like with the store alone. Well, there's no problem with the store, but the problem that the complication that I usually run into whenever I help people out in the store is, obviously at the store, if you don't know, we sell a lot of bakery items that are high in protein, low in fat, low in carbs as well. And a lot of people, when they first try them all, they always say, there's no way this can be healthy. There's no way I can lose weight while eating this. And the biggest key to that is people usually take 4 or 5 home, and they'll have 2 muffins or 3 muffins. Yes, they're high in protein. Yes, they're low calorie. Yes, they're low carb. But just because it's a healthy food doesn't mean that you can have 2 or 3 of them at a time.
No, exactly.
So the biggest thing that I always tell people
like everything else.
Exactly, you can eat the healthiest you ever did in your life and have, you know, a salad in the morning, salad at night. But if you have 6 salads, it's not really going to do much.
Exactly.
You know, just
especially
because,
when they're filled with cheese, avocado,
just
nuts.
because what you're putting in your body is, you know, healthier than other options available, it doesn't mean that you're doing something right. The whole point of losing weight, and, you know, the name of the game when it comes to losing weight, you know, this goes for me too. Like, I'm an avid gym goer and I love to lift heavy. It doesn't mean anything though unless I am watching what I eat, because I can go and, you know, lift heavy for 6 hours at a time, but if I'm not eating the right way, I'm not going to see any progress.
Right. 100%. I agree. And I do, like, going back to the muffins, because I'm going to touch on that now. I can show you thousands of people, literally. We have thousands, because we've been in business 12 years, 13 years, who will eat one of those muffins a day, and they are at their tiniest weight they've ever been at, because they work. But it's like everything else. Like you said, you can't have 3 of them, you know, in one serving. You can't have 3 of them a day. You know, you the whole idea is you definitely have to eat less to lose weight. Okay, so if even when we're talking about short-term goals to long-term goals, you have to eat less to lose weight. So always look for what you love, because that's what's going to keep you on program. That's a whole big part of the store, is we want to always love what we're eating, because we have to eat less. So if you're going to be hungry, at least you better love what you're eating, and that's what helps you lose weight. And when you're eating less, that's, you know, that is your short-term goal, is to stick to that program, but it's also to lose the weight, which I just thought of as we're talking here. But I think we could even use the cheat meal as a short-term. Like, you're on program all week, you do all the right things, and then you get your cheat meal each week.
Just like when you have a fun family plan at the end of the week on Friday or Saturday, it's like, oh, I got to get through this hard week just to get to that.
Exactly, right.
It's like, you know, you give yourself something to look forward to, which is that cheat meal.
Yeah,
it's a short-term goal for the long-term journey.
Exactly. I mean, we're talking about weight loss, but it could be in anything in your life. You could be putting away $100 a week, you know, and at the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm not good at math. What is that?
You could be picking up a new hobby here and there, and, you know, perfecting your craft. I can start running a half a mile a day, and it's not going to be fun for me. But then by the end of the year, I might say, oh yeah, now I run 5 miles like it's nothing.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's always, of course, it's not always going to be enjoyable, because, like we said in the last podcast, it's, you know, if it was easy, everybody would do it. But, you know, at the same time, you have to embrace the struggle almost.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I think that's the hardest part, is embracing the struggle. I mean, some days it's easy. Honestly, some days I see my clients and they have the easiest day. They're like, I can't believe it. I did this. They had the best week. And then some days are just the hardest days they've ever been through. And it's usually because of what's going on in their life, you know?
Yep. And I know that we're going to have another episode about this, but the detox program too. Like whenever people read that menu, the faces that I see, they think that we're starving them.
I know.
But then after they try it for the first time, they're like, oh, it was so doable. It was so doable.
Yes, it's so true. And then the results are like amazing.
Yeah.
But
and then they literally say like, oh, I only get one meal. I only get one muffin and one drink. But the hacks that you create while you do it and the little, tips that you do for yourself throughout, you realize after a point how capable you actually are.
It's so true, because I do tell them at the end of the week, you'll look back and go, I did not need all that food I was eating before I did the detox. It really gives you discipline into your appetite, which I love.
Yeah.
I think that's such a good point.
Yep. And discipline into your habits too.
And discipline into your habits, yep.
Because when you're cooking, you might be cooking dinner for the whole family and you might just be used to, picking here off trays and stuff like that, or, pulling stuff out of the oven, you take a little piece, but you might realize shortly after time that like, oh, I don't even have that urge anymore.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So true. Such a good point. I was just thinking of you last night, because I was thinking of you now last night when you were looking at your sneakers for 30 minutes. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's like another way to think about it is like when you were talking about the discipline and like holding yourself accountable and stuff, I always try to relate it to like another aspect of life when I think about something that's like not do or die, like, fitness in the gym. It's like you always try to think of it as that because you want it to be serious and you want to actually, gain discipline in it. But if being healthier or being more accountable is a goal for yourself, you need to almost create ways to train your mind to become accustomed to it. So I always say, like, when you wake up in the morning early for work, and of course we all always want to roll over and go straight back to bed because it's, so hard to get up and everything. And you have the thing where you say like, all right, 1, 2, 3, get up. Like that's it. But, I always try to think like when it comes to the gym, when it comes to looking down at my sneakers for 30 minutes before I actually put them on, I always try to get mentally into the mindset of like, if you don't get up for work in the morning, you're going to get fired if you don't show up. If you don't go to work in the morning because you're too tired, it's going to affect financials. You're not going to have the money to pay for bills and stuff, and you might actually get fired. So you need to almost think about that when you say to yourself, I'm going to go for a run today after work. I'm going to go to the gym after work. You need to almost put yourself in that situation of, okay, if I don't go to the gym today, or I don't run, or I don't eat a better meal tonight, I'm failing myself.
Right.
I'm failing what I set up for myself.
And you won't reach your long-term goal.
Goal.
Which all goes hand in hand.
You won't not only reach it, but you will just be pushing it further back.
Right. Which, that's such a good point. I think so many people do that. Yep. I think that, like right now, so January, what's the gym like? Is it packed?
Packed.
Yeah.
Packed.
Now, what will it be like in March?
It's funny because it doesn't get packed in the beginning because it's almost that people know it's going to be packed. So then they all come like, I'm saying they all, like, but like everyone that has a resolution, it's like everyone that has a resolution to go more often, it's weird though because it's never at my time. I'm always like a night owl and I'm there at like 10 o'clock. But like everyone that's there, it's never the first week of January because everybody's like, I start January 1st, but then everyone's like, oh, I need this week to get myself prepared to start. Everyone pushes it off. Like, oh, I'm going to start January 1st, like hardcore. And then January 1st comes and it's like, oh, I need the week to meal prep.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I need the week to prepare. Like, oh, I'm not ready for this. That's very true.
Yeah.
And then by the time the second week comes around, you start seeing, like me personally, I'm like, oh, I never see that guy here at this time. And it's like, and then you start seeing who's here and then it's like people get weeded out,
Right.
You start to see, oh, like that guy's been here now. It's February and he's still here.
Wow,
it's like,
yeah.
It's March. Oh, and he's still here,
I guess, I wonder how many people end up like staying.
I would love to look at the numbers of like how many people sign up in January.
And then how many stay.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they just do like, the best way to do it, I mean, I'll never give anybody financial advice, but sign that 12-month contract.
Yeah.
Because then you'll be binded to it.
Yeah, right.
And then you'll have to go.
Yeah.
Or else
You
you'll know that
so.
you're wasting money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even like where we are in Woodbury, like I feel like January is definitely busy, but we have like a yearly, like it's from like September to like June. And then this July and August are a little bit slower.
Yep.
But it goes on a lot of like the kids' schedules as far as like, you know, winter break, summer,
Yep.
you know, even the holiday break we just had, you know.
Yep.
But that's, you know, everyone's different. But I think when you said before how they don't come in until the second week of January or like the end of the first week, it's probably because their kids didn't go back to school yet. And you know, like how Dad likes to say sometimes, like, you guys sabotage him. That's what parents do. They blame their kids.
Yeah, I know. But it's never, you never really realize how easy it is to self-sabotage yourself, you know, because everybody has their own thing. Like, you know, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so sore. You know, it's like, it's almost like Dad when he's sick. You know, it's like, it's got the whooping cough for like 3 months after. And then you're like, is he ever going to get better? And it's like, you almost wonder when people are actually serious and when they're not.
Right, right.
And
He's going to be listening to this show.
But no, it's like with the store too. It's like, you know, you always see the influx of people coming around, and, you know, it's the classic, you know, people do it during the winter time because they're trying to look their best for summer, you know, and at the same time, I think that's difficult because it's hard to think about, like, I'm working so hard on my body, but we're always bundled up in the winter, so nobody can even see it to tell.
True. Yes.
You know,
yeah.
But then, you know, you got to think in the back of your head, like, I'm working so hard right now, and I'm doing all this, you know, dieting, and I'm working so hard going to the gym and putting the miles in, that, you know, I need to look forward, like you said, the short-term goals of, you know, staying with your meals and weighing in every week. That's the long-term goal of getting to summer. Right. You know? Right.
Yeah. They say summer bodies are made in the winter.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's what it is. It is definitely hard to do that. But I do think that a big part of what I try to give my clients is, you know, you want that motivation of that next holiday, that next vacation, that next or summer coming, because you need motivation to keep going. But at the same time, you know, you want it to also be like your everyday life. And that doesn't mean you do it, you know, every single day for 12 months a year. You know, it means that you incorporate it where you're having a lot more good on program healthy days than bad days, you know? No,
exactly. Yeah.
That's a good goal, you know, to have that.
Do you usually find that people from the past, clients, do you have people that come and go?
Oh, yeah. All this. Well, I have reoccurring, like, I have so many clients that still come to me from when I opened 13 years ago. And they'll come to me if they gained 5 pounds. You know, they've lost all their weight, but if they go up 5 pounds or 10 pounds, they come back. I kind of do a reset. They go back down, and then they go away. They're like little birds, I call them. They come back in. They, you know, they shop in the store all the time, so I always see them. But as far as their weight, they come in my office when they feel like they need to be reset, you know, or they'll do the online with me if they feel like they need to be reset. But and then they'll just shop the rest of the year. But it's definitely, which is great. That's what I want, because that they're living. I call them that they're living the program. See, some people do the program, some people live it. And doing it is, to me, that's the short term. They're just doing it to get the weight off, and then they end up gaining all their weight back.
And then you go away for summer, and then you come back in the fall.
Yeah, and then other people live the program. Like, they'll tell me, even when they're not with me, if they're away, if they're whatever, they always hear, like, my voice in their ear, you know, telling them, like, you know, make the right choice, do the right thing. You know, this is for you. This is what you want. Oh, that positive talk.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Which is so important.
I wonder how many people actually, like, go on the program hardcore. And then how long do you think, like, what's the shortest turnaround have you had of someone that's done the program and then they're just off and away? Like 1 month, 2 months?
No.
Or is there, like, obviously everybody's different. Like, someone might need you full time, you know, like years and years around. But
I could tell you my longest. I literally have people who don't need to be on it. They just like being on it because they like to text me every day. You know, they like to text me like what they're eating. It keeps them accountable. And they've kept their weight off the whole time, you know. But short term, as far as like that they lost their weight, you know, I have a lot of people that were on probably like a month, 2 months because they come to me to lose, you know, 10 pounds. And now at this point, I don't even sign them up. I go do the detox. Yeah.
Just for anybody like listening, you know, like anybody that's like curious, like, oh, like how much time do I actually have to put into this if I want to see results? Like what could you tell them about like, oh, like, you know, because everybody obviously when they go into something life-changing like this, you know, the result is what keeps them around.
Right, exactly.
So
always
if
have
you,
to see results.
you know, for anyone listening to this, what would you say to them saying like, you know, not how fast you could see results, but almost how long would I have to do something like that before I'm off on my own confidently?
Right.
You know?
I think everyone's different, and I do tell everyone that even that's why I create a different menu for each person because no one's the same. You know, no one loses weight the same. I could have two people literally the same age, height, weight, and they lose weight completely different. One can eat twice as much as the other, and they both lose the same amount of weight. It's just everyone's different. Their body's different. They process different. They have resistant fat. Some don't. So it really depends. I usually say put a month in, and I'll be able to tell you exactly, you know, what you'll see in weight loss, how much a week, and how long it will take you. Because it also shows me after that month how really much they're following and they're into it and they're doing the right thing. You know, everyone walks through the door and wants to, but not everyone follows through with it. You know?
It's almost like a test in a way.
It is, but it's also, I think it's a test even for themselves to see like if they're capable
really
of doing it. Listen, everybody wants to, but you are eating less. So you have to do, and again, I'm so big on consistency because that's where your results come. And if you don't do it consistently, you can't have like 3 good days and 2 bad days and then lose weight. It's just not going to happen. You know, so many times, like, and I said, like, so many people come back to me, they'll come in and they'll say, but I was just so good the last 2 days. But that doesn't matter. Like, you know, it's like, it really takes week after week to consistently see those results, or you're just going to gain and lose the same weight over and over. And this goes just with the same thing as the week to the weekend. I can show you so many people that are great Monday through Friday, and then they kill themselves Saturday and Sunday, and they completely sabotage themselves, and they gain everything they lost all weekend because they went off the entire weekend. And then they do the same thing every single week, and they're like, why can't I lose weight? Because you can't eat that much in a weekend after you just ate that less all week to lose weight. It just doesn't work like that. You have to be consistent.
So for someone that hasn't done this program before, I'm thinking about it now, like what would I think if I was actually joining the program for this reason? I'm thinking like, would it be normal for someone to think, oh, this is going to be really hard? Or is that amount that you're eating? Because you keep saying it, like you keep repeating it about you are eating less.
You are eating less, and
so
it is hard.
It is worthy for someone to think like, oh, this is definitely going to be a challenge.
Yes, I think.
But like you said prior to, like, you know, you have to enjoy what you're eating. So at least if you're eating less, you're enjoying the meals that you're having. But it is fair for someone to think like, obviously this is a big change in someone's life and their lifestyle, like you said. So it's normal to think it's going to be hard. Right. And
this is usually when they ask me, because they'll say, you know, like, I don't want to be hungry. And I'll be like, well, then you might as well leave because you're going to be hungry. You know, you're not going to eat less and not be hungry. You know, you won't be hungry all day, but you'll have moments where you're hungry. You know, that's just how it is. And then I will say to them, this is what will happen. Your first week's going to be really hard. Because even if I give them 3 meals and a snack, which I usually start everyone on, 3 portioned meals and a snack. And I'll say, but you can't eat anything in between. And they'll go, oh, I do that anyway. And I'll be like, oh, okay. But because they think they do. They think like, oh, I don't eat anything in between. And then by like Wednesday, they're texting me and they're like, I'm starving. And I go through the same thing. I'm like, you're not starving. We don't even know what starving is. So you're definitely not starving. But I'm sure you're hungry, and that's okay. But I always tell them, get to the weigh-in on Saturday. And then when they see their results, they're so happy.
Mm-hmm.
They always say the same thing. It was so worth it, and they can't wait to do it again. You have to see results. What you can't do is go through a week like that, be hungry, and, listen, you're restricted. You're eating less, no matter what. You're eating less. You can't do that and then step on the scale and it be more or the same. It just, that would be, that's why I always say get to the weigh-in. If you get to the weigh-in, it's going to make everything worth it. So get through that first week, because with the first week, if you're eating what you love, even though you're eating less, you can get through it. It's a little hunger. Your body gets used to the hunger, so that will go away. Okay? Your body shrinks, your appetite shrinks once you keep doing it. Consistency again. But when you see those results every week, that's what really, really holds you on the program.
Absolutely.
So that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for listening.
Always remember, please stop by Innovation, 8025 Jericho Turnpike, Woodbury, New York. Or you can visit our website at innovationhealthymarket.com. Or you can call our number at 516-802-5055. And always remember, too, we are open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday, Sunday, 9 to 3. We're always there to help you with your shopping, orders, weight loss, or any questions that you have in general. When you come in, make sure to ask for me. My name's Jake. I will be happy to show you around the store. Or if you are looking for a one-on-one plan, I can make your first free consultation appointment with Josephine. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Have a great day.